Welcome back, one and all. It was night 4, race 3 of Pennsylvania Speedweek here at Lincoln Speedway again. BAPS Motor Speedway rained out Sunday night, so we just go back to back at the racetrack in the Pigeon Hills, and what a show it was. Honestly, really great race, really exciting. Would have been a pretty great show to attend, and a lot of people did. We'll just go ahead and start right off at the beginning of the night hot laps. The fastest driver was Matt Campbell in the Rutherford Racing number 19R. There were 42 cars present tonight, so they split them into two groups of 21 for qualifying. Flight number 1, Skylar G, was fastest in his first appearance in PA Speedweek, just over the Swindell Speed Labs car, driven by another guy making his debut for the week, Christopher Bell. Qualifying Flight 2 saw a lot of heavy hitters, and it was very evident because Kyle Larson, that guy, he was fastest in Flight 2, with Justin Peck second fastest in that group. So Heats 1 and 2 were set by Flight 1, Heats 3 and 4 from Flight 2. So in Heat number 1, we ended up with a pretty spread out group, and because of the handicap to the fastest driver in each heat race, the fastest driver in the group started 4th, that was Skylar G. So Austin Bishop led from start to finish in a somewhat uneventful, I'll say, heat race, except Skylar G falling out of transfer positions. So the final top 5 and advancing drivers were Austin Bishop, Chad Trout, and Zach Hampton in the top 3, with Brent Marks and Tanner Thorson making it as well. In heat race number 2, there was a big battle early between 4 cars from 6th to 10th. That was fun to watch, but flag to flag at the front, the pole sitter was Jeff Halligan. With 2 laps to go, there was a problem that caused a yellow. Devin Borden stopped at the top side of turn 4. He got going again, so not sure what was wrong, but it evidently didn't end anything major except put him in the rear with 2 to go in the heat race. Jeff Halligan won the heat, like I said. TJ Stutz was second. Christopher Bell third. Billy Dietrich fourth. And Brandon Raymer was the final transfer out of heat race number 2. Heat race number 3 was a stacked heat. Larson and Danny Dietrich were strong, and they maybe could have fought a little bit closer to the front. The way that they lined up at the very beginning, Troy Wagaman and Lucas Wolf were on the front row, and Troy Wagaman has been blisteringly good at Lincoln lately. He got 3 top 3s leading up to Saturday, where he ended up, 6th? Yeah. So Troy Wagaman from pole, he just went flag to flag and won that one. Kyle Larson and Danny Dietrich took a little time to get around Lucas Wolf, and that probably took him out of contention to fight with Wagaman, but Larson was second, Danny Dietrich third, Lucas Wolf was fourth, and the final transfer out of heat race number 3 was Tim Gladfelter. Heat race number 4 was the crazy one. Anthony Macri started on pole, and at first he was just absolutely gone from the front of the field. Alan Crimes and Matt Campbell had a great race going for second place until lap 3, when Matt Campbell comes off the bottom of turn 3 and just a little moves up the track a bit, and they make contact. Alan Crimes ends up in the turn 3 wall, and so they had a yellow. They come back to a restart. Anthony Macri pulls away once again. Justin Peck now fighting with Matt Campbell for second place off of that restart, and that wasn't as close as Crimes and Campbell, but it was something. Gerard McIntyre and Freddie Raymer had a fight for the transfer at the end of the race, and Freddie just couldn't quite hold on, so Freddie Raymer was the last car out, but he also, coming to the checkered flag, actually crashed in, I believe he crashed in turn 4, made it down the front stretch, and then lost control and crashed again in turn 1, but that was a fair amount of damage to the car, but he was okay. So your top 5 and the transfers out of the final heat race went as such: Anthony Macri, Justin Peck, Matt Campbell, Dylan Norris, and Gerard McIntyre. Because of the way that they handicapped the fastest drivers in the B main to the front, Skylar G was on the pole for the B main, and he was able to lead pretty easily in that group. There was some nice racing with him and Alan Crimes. They raced together for the lead a little bit, but in the end, Skylar G was victorious. Chase Dietz had a great run, and he managed to get himself up into contention for a spot in the A main feature tonight. With 7 laps to go, a yellow flag came out for Chris Arnold getting it backwards, but that didn't really change the running order for the top 4, and at the very end of the race, Nicky Young had a very valiant effort to challenge for that transfer spot, but it went Skylar G, Alan Crimes, Ryan Smith, and Chase Dietz at the end. And now it's into the A main feature. Kyle Larson in the redraw got the pole for the event, with Troy Wagaman drawing second and Anthony Macri drawing third. On the first attempt for the start of the race, we had a red flag situation for a crash out in the exit of turn 2. That was Billy Dietrich upside down with Gerard McIntyre and Dylan Norris involved in that crash as well with some damage. And then there was a secondary crash in turn 3 after that with Danny Dietrich getting upside down. He didn't have a ton of damage, but he did send it to the work area to get the car worked on and was able to get back out on the track, but he did end up upside down, as his brother in turn 2 did as well. On the restart of that attempt, we saw Zach Hampton, a part of an obligatory yellow. He ran up and over the left rear of Chad Trout. Not really sure who's at fault in the situation, but he kind of got up and over the left rear of Trout. Trout got all out of whack, ended up flipping over. Tanner Thorson kind of hit the wall a little bit, but he seemed fine. So another red flag, and that happened with Chad Trout upside down and ended his night. They restarted again. Kyle Larson runs away with that pole position. Brent Marks, making some very big moves, was already into the top 5, just a few laps into the race. And so that was pretty much all that there was to say about it until we got about to halfway when Brent Marks had ended up in second and Kyle and him started catching lap traffic. And it seemed just like Kyle Larson is a great dirt driver, but Brent Marks tonight was just a little bit better on the bottom, and he was a little bit better with the lap traffic. And he got a little bit luckier than Larson and had less bad of luck when they were navigating the lap traffic. So Brent Marks was able to catch up to Kyle Larson on a dirt track. That's pretty crazy. And then, even crazier, he was able to pass him on a dirt track. So Brent Marks took the lead. They all kind of got stuck behind Chase Dietz for a little while, but Brent took the lead. And then 12 laps to go was exactly when Brent Marks made the pass. With 9 laps to go, Dylan Norris, who was at that point a lap down, spun in turn 2 and brought out a yellow. And on the restart, Brent Marks was just able to hold off as Kyle Larson was mounting a charge to try to fight it, but ended up fading back a little bit. And with some open track in front of him, Brent Marks comes around, and Brent Marks takes his first win of PA Speedweek 2022. Kyle Larson second, and Anthony Macri was able to get around Troy Wagaman and come on for third position at the end. So what I've got here is your top 10 rundown on the end of the night, and what I'm actually going to do is bring in a special guest, my buddy Matt Faust. He was watching the race as well, and so he's just going to make some quick comments on what he saw.
All right, hey guys, Matt Faust here. Incredible night tonight at Lincoln Speedway. Really impressed with Danny Dietrich, who flipped in the first lap, or the first start of the race, flipped over, and then it was looking like he wasn't going to be able to get back out on the track. Actually missed the next restart, but Chad Trout flipping into the first turn of that lap ended up getting it back in there. Was able to finish 10th place tonight, which is an incredible recovery. Christopher Bell fell back one spot, but still good to see a NASCAR star running at Abbottstown, Pennsylvania. It's just incredible to see. Larson was definitely the story of the night. Just incredibly dominant, came out onto the track and put down a 13.6 in the second wave of qualifying, the only person to really do anything like that. And then he had a really great run all night, was incredible, as he notoriously is, with an open track ahead of him as he started in first. But Brent Marks was able to just reel him in and completely catch up to him. Then a caution came out, and it was really just Larson not being able to get back by him once the race restarted. Good run by Jeff Halligan. He's been on a tear lately, so it's good to see him up there running well. Just really a great night overall. Macri really couldn't do anything too outstanding, which is what everyone before the race was talking about. We're all going to be trying to chase down Larson and Macri. Macri is still getting a solid third place finish, which is really going to help him throughout the week with this, average finish of 1.3 so far this week. So yeah, really incredible race tonight. Good to see good racing and great recoveries by some guys who had some rough starts for sure.
So here I'm going to throw in my last remarks. I agree 100% with Matt. Lucky break for Danny Dietrich with that second flip to let him have time to get back out on track. Troy Wagaman is super impressive at Lincoln right now. I'm just going to keep waiting for him to win a race because it's going to happen at some point. I think Alan Crimes would have been able to contend a lot more for this race to get a top 5, maybe even a podium, if he hadn't have had that trouble in the heat race that sent him to the B main and ending up starting at the back. And the final thing here is just kind of, is Brent Marks marking a charge for PA Speedweek Championship? Is he going to be able to catch back up to Anthony? He's looking like he might start getting some momentum, but Kyle Larson is still here. So as you can see, the power rankings have been on the screen for a second here, and so this is kind of where we're at, statistically speaking, who's hot and who's not right now after 3 days of racing in the first 4 nights of PA Speedweek. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching and supporting this series and this Speed Week. We're going to Grandview for Tuesday night, race 4 actually. So that's going to be exciting. That's a really fun racetrack, and it's kind of out a little further away from these other tracks that we're used to seeing on weekly schedules like Williams Grove and Lincoln. So once again, thank you so much for watching. Check out Robbie Noonan for the photography and dirtnerddata.weebly.com. This is Joe Donahue. We will see you at Grandview. Maybe. Probably.